So today's question is, what if world events overtake your story? You write science fiction, your story can become dated quickly. This is The Maiden Voyage of Navi Mir. The title story is greatly inspired by the events that happened in Ukraine in 2014 when Russia entered Ukraine and took Crimea away. And my thinking at that time was, well, what concessions would the West make to stop Russia from taking the rest of Ukraine? And one of the concessions that I'd come up with was the idea that give them unfettered, unmonitored access to the International Space Station for a set length of time so they can do whatever secret stuff they want to do. And that's the basis for the title story, actually, The Maiden Voyage of Navi Mir. In that story, the Russians have had just about a year all alone up on the space station, and they're using their time there to jumpstart their space race. They're not necessarily competing against the Americans now, they're competing against the Chinese, and they see the space station as offering them a big step up. So that's what that story is about. Obviously, the events recently with the Russian invasion of Ukraine changes the dynamic of the story completely, and yet it's still the title story of this collection. I don't know, you think of an idea, you go with it. If it's set in the near future, it's going to get overtaken by reality. Back to the Future and Blade Runner, and never mind 2001: A Space Odyssey, are all films that were set in a future that is now our past. And that turned out nothing like was envisioned in those movies. They are still enjoyable movies. In fact, there's a TV show called UFO by Jerry Anderson, and it was filmed in like 1968 or 1969 and was set in like 1980. And again, I mean, it's long since been passed by reality, but they're still worthwhile stories. I mean, 2001: A Space Odyssey, you're not going to throw it away because, well, we didn't have permanent moon base by 2001, so the story's crap. No, the story is still fundamentally good. Blade Runner is still an amazing story. Back to the Future is one of the best time travel stories put to film for not having mistakes in causality and everything. Done very well. So yeah, I mean, you put your stories out there, you hope they don't get too dated too quickly, but it is a concern that science fiction writers have to deal with, especially if you're dealing with near future. Well, thanks for that question. And if you have a question, send it to me at steven@scrapbooks.com, and I'll see you next time.